all that sentimental stuff that Danielle talked about, not really in here. Alright, now before I give my speech, a little disclaimer. All people talked about and the jokes made this speech are of purely fictional nature. Any resemblance to actual people sitting up here is purely coincidental. When Durs asked me to be his best man, I knew that I couldn't just give the standard best man speech. I wanted it to be special. So I racked my brain trying to come up with something creative. My first choice was to do a roast of the entire wedding party. But I decided against that based on a few reasons. First, I'm not saying the women in this wedding party are ditzy. What I am saying is, I don't want to explain every joke 6 times. Because there's 6... Then, even besides that, all the jokes that I could come up with are either not funny or not appropriate. For example, what would you get if you took away my charming personality, my charisma, my sense of humor, and my stage presence? Well, Zach. Wait. You have to weigh about 30 pounds, too. As far as Mike goes, and this one touches on the inappropriate, I do appreciate courtesy laughter. But we've all heard probably at least one decent Asian joke before. And let's be honest, on paper they all look the same. The jokes all look the same on paper. Nick. Word on the street, you've got a little bit of a temper. So I'm not going to say anything bad about you. And what I said for Nick, that also applies to Richard. Also what I said about the ladies. Okay, so the roast is out. My next option was to talk about how Durs was always my mom's favorite son. But I was unable to narrow it down to the 15 best stories to help prove this point. I did also consider inviting all of Durs' ex-girlfriends to come and help me give the speech, but I couldn't get a hold of her. Because none of these options would work out, I decided to go in a totally different direction. Now, I realize I might lose about half of you right now, but raise your hand if you're at mine and Al's wedding. Okay? Now, keep your hand raised if you thought that the best man speech Durs and Zach gave was the best man speech you've ever heard. Hands down. Put your hand down, Mom. I know your master of ceremonies didn't care for your speech either. This is a screenshot from our actual wedding. 2007 winner, worst idea for a wedding speech award. This is on our wedding video. Like, there's not a picture of this that doesn't have that on there. So, yeah, your master of ceremonies right there. Now, this might be a little late, considering you've already given me my best man speech, and Zach claims he's never getting married. That's his words, not mine. I don't know if you'll ever be able to use the advice I'm about to give you, but regardless, I'm going to teach you the do's and don'ts of writing a best man speech. Don't use inside jokes. Your grand finale was something about me buying too big of a fridge. I think you, Zach, me, and Al were the only ones that got that joke. Now, if I was to throw up this picture and say, hey, is that Tom Hanks' kid? Jen and I find it funny. No one else does. Make sure you use jokes that everyone can get. For example, Durs, you are a ginger. Jen, you may notice that Durs always smells like he got a side job working as a lifeguard. That's because his gingivitis forces him to wear a thin layer of sunscreen anytime he goes outside. He is such a ginger He even has to wear sunscreen to burn a CD. See which joke went over better? Not the inside. Do make sure you get a video or something else that is at least slightly embarrassing for the groom. Do you know what this is?
Yes. Just want to tell you, Eric. Every chance you get. Congratulations, love you guys.
For those of you that didn't catch that, he told me to motorboat every chance I get. That was his advice for me on my wedding day. Motorboat every chance I get. Stand up, Miles. So they say that the true thoughts and feelings come out after you throw back a couple of adult beverages. There's a reason why Al wears only sweatshirts around you since then. I can't. Don't. That wasn't the video you were thinking, was it? Don't stop at one video if more embarrassing footage can be found. I don't really have anything funny to say about this video. It pretty much speaks for itself. Everyone, for your viewing pleasure, an excerpt of Durz's rendition of Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. He was on camera. So, I think Whitney just turned over in her grave. Before I get to my last... Oh, sorry, too soon. Before I get to my last do of writing a best man speech, I do want to get a little serious for a minute. Jen, Durz would never bring any girls home to see Mom Day. Honestly, we're the first one. That in itself should speak volumes. You are a great addition to our family, and I sincerely look forward to seeing you two continually growing closer to each other. I know that you two love each other, and I know that God has brought you both together. And the last do of writing a best man speech. Your speech culminated in the top 10 ways to tick off your wife. That's why he earned the worst best man speech ever. Top 10 ways of ticking off your wife. Not exactly the best advice to start a marriage, but it's not your fault. You hadn't heard this speech yet. Do at least end your speech with some encouraging words or something that will lift the couple up. So rather than doing a top 10 ways of ticking Jen off, I'm going to do 3 easy steps to a long and successful marriage. It's as simple as the acronym JOY, J-O-Y. Jesus, others, yourself. Jesus, make sure that he's the focal point of your marriage. One of my wife's favorite sayings, and something that Pastor Bob brought up earlier, a strand of 3 cords is not easily broken. Turn to him when the road of your marriage is a little rocky. Second, others. This topic's importance is twofold. First, you have 2 sets of parents that are shining examples of what marriage should be. You promised until death do us part. You should remember that. The second part here is to put the other person's needs before your own. And finally, yourself. Durz, I'm specifically talking to you here. Only after you've met the needs of Jen, may you make sure that your needs are met. And of course, by meeting your needs, I mean motorboat every chance you get. To Durz and Jen. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, our best man, Eric Helmholtz. Thank you, Eric.